Shalom, shalom, Yasha Allah. Shalom, Yasha Allah. All praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. First and foremost, it's your man Jaquar Bon Yahweh with a quick sit down. And I've changed my format, in my past. I used to be, everybody knows I used to be with HOI from 2015 to 2020. But obviously I still do the work. I've relocated or whatever the case. But it gives me nothing but pleasure to teach the people. So with that, unfortunately, the videos, my format, they're going to be short videos, which is kind of unusual because I've always been long-winded. But let's get right into it. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so these are the end times. Problem is, a lot of people don't know what that means. You have Israelites who have the knowledge, who know exactly what that means. The end of one society, or the so-called white supremacy, and the installation of Israelite superiority, which is Jacob's blessing. So in order to keep this short, like I said, I'm going to start with 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, and it says, verse 1 says, "This know also that and in the last days perilous times shall come." Now, if you can't see, even if you don't know the truth, if just the current state of the country and America and what's going on in the world, so to speak, if you can't tell perilous times are here, I don't know what to tell you. Let me read that again. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy." Look at your YNs today, right? Verse 3, "Without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good." Right? These are the times that we are obviously in. Verse 4, "Traitors, heady, high-minded," Salakia, "lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh." Everybody want to hit something. Like I said in my previous video, everybody want to get a nut. Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh. Salakia for my language. "Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away." Verse 6, "For these are the sort, for of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts." Right? I'm going to go to 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 3. And it says, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap themselves teachers having itching ears." Right? Verse 4 says, "And they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned into fables." All right. So those are personality attributes that, we can clearly see in these days. So having said that, we're going to go to Isaiah, the 19th chapter, real quick. I really don't want to go more than 15 minutes. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Isaiah, the 19th chapter says, "The burden of Egypt," right? Now, we know when it says Egypt, it's talking about America, because this is Isaiah. What happened in Egypt with Pharaoh was, eons ago. So it's not talking about ancient Kemet, right? Isaiah 19:1, "The burden of America, or the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Most High rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt." Right? The swift cloud is talking about UFO, right? And the chariots. UFO, 1 to 50,000. Who knows how many it's going to be, right? It says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So what people don't quite understand in these end times, it means the complete obliteration, ultimately, the complete obliteration physically of the land where we live at, right? Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians, excuse me, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. This is talking about the so-called white man, the Edomites. It says Egyptians, but if you go to Revelations 11 and 8, it's talking about, we know what it is, right? So let me just keep going. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, conservatives against liberals, Democrats against Republicans, Democrats against Democrats, Republicans. You can clearly see that right now with the Donald Trump and the Republican Party. They're fracturing, they're dividing up themselves, right? Rich people versus poor people, right? And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom, right? And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek, Salakia, they shall seek to the idols. So you can see the wisdom of these folks going out the door right now. Although they do have a plan, but, the Most High is giving them delusions. Everything is of the Most High. Whoever it is, whatever it is, the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of all men, according to Daniel 4:17, right? They shall seek to the idols and the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, right? So when you go, let's go to Obadiah real quick, and I'm going to come back to Isaiah. Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 3 says, the pride of thy heart has deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, who saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? Now, it's not only America that's falling. If you look at the European countries, look what's going on in France, riots, like they're going down, You don't really hear about international news too much, but they're going down, right? Verse 4 says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, we know what that's talking about. We know what the book of Obadiah is about, right? And thou shalt set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down. So this decline of your friendly neighborhood, has been going on really since the 60s, bit by bit by bit by bit. The Most High has given his people a chance to wake up and to cling to this truth, But the Most High said he's going to bring them down. Let's go back to Isaiah. Isaiah 19 and Salakia, y'all. Give me a second. Isaiah 19 and 15 says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, right? Which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. This is talking about economic collapse, and we can clearly see that. The economy has been getting worse, really ever since Bush. Obama might have smoothed it out temporarily while he was working, but after Biden and completely right now, obviously, jobs are going down. everything's going down. Everybody's getting fired, blah, blah, blah. Right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Now you look at Asia, China, for example. They are way up on digital stuff. And Esau is going to use that technology that they're using to implement digital and, all type of stuff so where they can completely control you. That's the plan. So-called New World Order, where basically the elites control everybody. If you look at Esau's blessing, just like our blessing to have everybody as slaves, that's what they're trying to do by putting a chip in your ass. And if you don't take the chip, they'll kill you, or you can't eat, or whatever, right? So Jacob's trouble is here, right? Jacob's trouble is here. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Let's drop down to verse 16. It says, the fire is kindled, right? And shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. So what the Most High's got cooking, like they say, can you smell what the rocks got cooking? Can you smell what the Most High's got cooking? That's the question, right? Verse 16 says, like an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Right? There's nothing you can do except understand what the Most High is doing. You got to get down and lay down, understand what's the times that we're in. Right? Verse 17 says, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. This is the time. We're here. Stop watching TV. Stop partying and bullshitting and repent. Let me read that again. 2nd Ezra 16 and 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, right? The beginning of powers. The beginning and the power Slakia, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, right? What shall I do when these evils come? Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Right. So these are the times that we're quickly approaching. Look what Donald Trump has done. It's not even been in a year yet. Right. Let's go to Revelations 13 real quick. I made a post earlier today. You have a lot of different camps teaching what they say the mark of the beast is. Personally, I'm going to subscribe to the chip. People say it's religion, people say this and people say that. But these are the times that are approaching when this economy collapses, which can happen at any moment. It's going to be all out hell. Let's get into this. Revelations chapter 13, verse 16. And it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand. Right? We already seen people taking the chip. It's voluntary at the moment. It's voluntary. Right? But when the economy crashes, which they're going to crash on purpose, they're going to make you put it in your right hand or your forehead. Right? Verse 17 says that no man might buy or sell save he have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So repent, keep the commandments, pray.